The thing is if you go back and you change something because of what you know now, your future changes.
I just had the most interesting conversation with Jessica Duncan. She talked about how close she is with her family and the lengths that her father went through to be with her when she served in Iraq. I think you're going to really enjoy hearing from Jessica Duncan. Today, I am excited to welcome Jessica Duncan as my guest. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you so much. I am super excited to be here.
I am too. I've heard so many fabulous things about you from your coworkers, and I can't wait to kind of dig beneath the surface a little bit more and find out who you are outside of work.
Well, I'm pretty much an open book.
Good. All right. I love that. So let's start by telling us what you do at C&G and how long you've worked for us.
So I've been with C&G for almost 4 years. At the end of the summer, it'll
Hmm.
be 4 years. Then I was working in the production plants and I made up to an extrusion tech.
Hmm.
And then within the past 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I got a promotion. So now I am one of 3 scheduling coordinators.
Wow. So that's a pretty big change.
It is a very big change. So I went from running a line to scheduling all the bag lines.
Yeah. Do you like it so far?
I absolutely love it. It is a complete 360 in what I used to do. I went from manual labor, now it's a lot of mental labor.
Yeah, that's different. Carry more stress probably in the mental labor.
Yes, there is more stress in the mental labor, but honestly, I absolutely enjoy it. Um,
Awesome.
I work with a great group of people, and they definitely help me out when I'm confused with anything or if I just haven't got the hang of it yet.
Mhm.
They step up and help me.
So Jessica, tell me about your life before C&G. What other, kind of roles or jobs did you have?
So before CNG, I worked at school specialty
Mhm.
for right around 4 years or so. Uh, they were uh, restructuring and they let me go along with a large group of other people, which honestly, it was the best thing they could ever do because within 2 weeks of being let go there, I found my position at CNG. And it's like I said, it's been absolutely wonderful since.
Mhm.
Before I worked at school specialty, I actually was a home health aide
Wow.
and, I've been in the military. I did the military for 13 years. I'm out now.
13 years. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, first of all, uh, why did you decide to go into the military?
Super funny thing, it wasn't really a decision as much as a non-decision.
Hmm.
So, friend of mine when I was in high school wanted to go take the ASVAB, which is the test that you have to take to get into the military. She
Mhm.
didn't wanna go alone, so I went with her.
Mhm.
And once I took the ASVAB, they said, "Do you wanna join up?" And I said, "Sure, why not?"
Really? Wow. So was anyone in your family in the military prior to you or?
Oh, yes. So my dad was in the military prior to me. My uncle, my dad's dad was in the military. So we had a large military background,
Mhm.
and my dad did not want that for me at all. He
Really?
but ended up I signed a contract, so there I was, and I re-upped too, so
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you sign a contract, that was probably for a few years, but you did 13. So tell me about, what it was like and why you sort of re-upped, and did your dad come to terms with that?
Oh, yes, no, he absolutely came to terms with it. I re-upped twice and then did a couple 1 years, for medical with the military,
Mhm.
but, I deployed once
To where?
into Kuwait, and then when I came back, I, left with my unit that I was attached to in Delaware, Ohio. They were getting ready to deploy. So I told them that I would go with them. So within 6 months of coming home from Kuwait, I deployed with my unit to Iraq. So in that frame, my dad actually joined back up into the military.
Really?
He'd been out for 11 years because he didn't want me to go by myself.
No way.
Yes, he had to lose some weight, get back into shape, all that stuff, but yes, he absolutely joined back up into the military
How
after being
cool
out for
is
11
that?
years.
Like that he would wanna watch over you, even his dad, in the military. So was that able to happen? Were you guys, like, in the same troop or the same
Yes, we actually
unit?
he joined up into a different unit with his MOS, which is his military occupational specialty.
Mhm.
And then he told his commander, he said, "I'm only joining so that I can go and get attached to my daughter's unit." So he told him flat out, he was like, "I'm not staying in your unit. I just need a place so that I can go to her unit."
Okay.
And they
So
let him.
how did that make you feel?
Over the moon. I mean, I am absolutely 100% loved by both my parents. Like, we have a very, very strong bond. My mom actually works here at CNG in finishing.
What is she doing finishing?
She runs one of the Amplast machines.
Mhm. So tell me about your upbringing. Like, are you the only child or you have other siblings?
No, I actually have a brother and a sister
Okay.
who are younger than me. My brother works in maintenance on A shift
Okay.
here at
So this is a
CNG.
family affair here for you guys.
I honestly, I try. Anybody
Uh-huh.
that in my
Yep.
family, like, "You guys absolutely need to go there." It's amazing here, like I said,
Mhm.
it's good to get people involved in something that's a great idea, you
Yeah.
know?
So you with the ownership where we all have an opportunity to share in what we create.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and, I wouldn't recommend them to come if they wouldn't put forth that effort, but they have the same work mentality as I do, so it's just creating better opportunities for my family and better opportunities with CNG because they get people that work really well.
Mm. So tell me a bit more about growing up, what it was like, growing up with such a supportive mom and dad.
Um, I'm sure that when I was younger, I wasn't as excited about it as I am
Yeah.
now. You're growing and you want your own space and
Mhm.
everything. But my parents have always been very supportive. In anything that I wanted to do, I did cheerleading, track. I did orchestra, I did band.
Mhm.
I even wrestled for a year.
Wrestled, wow.
Yes.
There was a female wrestling team?
No.
Oh, oh, oh. Well, tell me more.
So they told me that I could not wrestle because I was a female,
Uh-huh.
which is the exact opposite that you wanted to tell me at that age because I
W
was more determined than ever
Mhm.
to be able to
Mhm.
wrestle. So I had to wear a t-shirt underneath my wrestling gear so that because they don't cover as much.
Oh, right, right. Yes.
So I wore a t-shirt so that it covered more and a lot of the guys would not wrestle me, so they forfeited.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't want to wrestle a girl. So, but I still did. I wrestled because they told
Told
me that
me.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I know that. I know that move. The more I'm told I can't do something, the more I wanna do it as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So, it sounds like things have gone pretty well for you in your life.
Yes. I mean, I've had some ups and downs. I lived in Indiana for a few years and it didn't work out between my son's father and I. And so I didn't have to, but I moved back to
Mhm,
Mansfield with my parents and I didn't have a job. So it was kind of
mhm.
difficult. Two infants. Well, not technically infants, they were two at the time.
Twins?
Um, no, I actually adopted a little boy who I had him when he was a month old out of the hospital, and he's 2 months older than my son. So
Wow.
we got him out of the hospital in December, and then I had my son in January.
Wow. You are someone who has such a big heart, Jessica, because you were telling me another story about volunteering to be a surrogate. Do you wanna
Yes.
talk to us about that?
So I am super excited. I'm in the process of becoming a surrogate. I had a little bit of a setback.
Mhm,
I got diagnosed with endomyosis, and so to get that per se cured or
mhm,
fixed, I have to take like 3 shots over the course of the next 3 months, and then go back for some more testing. But, a lot of women have that and they don't know it. They just can't have a child because
mhm.
it won't allow their uterus to actually hold an embryo.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, my daughter has endometriosis, which is similar but different, but still complications with getting pregnant.
Yes.
So the other part of being that surrogate is you're doing it for a total stranger.
Yes, I am. I've met them over, like, FaceTiming and stuff, but we haven't met in person.
And so this is through the military, like, connection or to
No, I actually signed up to be a surrogate through, Surrogacy Is, and
Mhm,
then, they were like a parent unit,
mhm,
and they found us a surrogacy agency.
mhm,
And so my surrogacy agency is delivering hope, and that's kind of that is their motto,
mhm,
delivering hope, to
mhm,
the intended parents, because that's what you're doing. You're giving them so much, and they found us, myself and obviously other surrogates,
mhm.
our intended parents, and my intended parents are actually in France. So
Wow.
it's a
Yeah,
a long distance
yeah,
relationship, but they are absolutely wonderful.
yeah, that is so cool, and, giving hope to a family that really wants a child but can't have one, so good for you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's a lot to go through.
It is, but it is totally worth it.
Yeah. So when you look back on your life, Jessica, and you think about all the things that you've been through and being in the military for 13 years, adopting a child, having your own, looking at being a surrogate, is there anything you would go back and say, I wish I could do different, make a different choice?
It's really funny that you would say that. I've thought about that so much
Mhm.
because, you always look back and you're like, if I could do something different because I know how everything goes now. The
Mhm.
thing is if you go back and you change something because of what you know now,
Mhm.
your future changes.
Mhm.
Everything that you've done has led you up to where you're at currently. So I would not go back and change anything just
Yeah.
because I love where I'm at.
Mm.
I love where I'm at, professionally
Mhm.
and at home,
Yeah.
like personally.
That's really cool. And I think there's many people that couldn't say that. So just to appreciate that, and to be thankful for that, I think that's amazing. So what do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do to relax or when you're not working or
I am a very old soul, so I like to crochet
really?
a lot.
Wow.
I've been doing it since I was probably in junior high.
Is
My
relaxing for you or what?
It is very relaxing for me. I
Mhm.
can crochet and, like, watch TV or something.
Mhm.
Um, I do blankets, actually a lot of blankets. I've actually made stuffed animals,
Mhm.
anything. If it can be crocheted, I've made graphigans.
Graphicans, what is that?
So, you actually can take a picture and it's like a bunch of different squares and it makes a picture on the blanket, but you crochet it and it's in different colors. Like I've made a
Wow. Yeah.
minion for my mom's
Oh, a
friend.
minion. My husband loves minions.
Yeah. I've actually graphed out my own handwriting on a blanket and like crocheted a message on a blanket.
Wow. That seems like it would take a lot of talent. Like you don't just do the simple crochet. You're like the masterclass crocheter.
Yeah, I do lots of different stitches, lots of different stuff.
Yeah. So how old did you say your 2 sons are now?
My boys are 13.
13.
Yes.
And so
13.
what do they like to do? Do they like to crochet?
No, no. They wanted to try once and they got frustrated. They were like, this isn't for me,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is understandable. It's fine. They're at the age where Xbox is their world,
Xbox, like the game.
the
Like, see
gaming
see, I don't
system.
have boys. I'm like, "What?
Oh,
I don't do the Xbox."
yes, and I do not either. So they it's like a gaming system. It's a console like
Mhm.
the Xbox or
Yeah.
PlayStation. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
theirs is Xbox.
My 9-year-old grandson Grant would be like, "Come on, Grandma." That's what he calls me. Like, "We don't know what that is." Yeah, that's embarrassing. Earlier, you when we were having lunch earlier, you had a long braid in, and now you've taken it out. Your hair is very long. How long have you been growing it?
Quite a few years. I get my hair trimmed, but I stopped cutting it off probably about 6 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful
Thank
hair.
you.
And so you had it braided for what reason?
Because I rode my motorcycle over
Mhm.
from Films 3.
Okay. And so a motorcycle is like your normal way you get around?
If the weather is nice, that is my preferred way to get around. Obviously, with having 2 boys and 1 seat in the back,
Yep.
I have to drive to a lot of places or groceries or anything like that. But definitely, if I can, to and from work, I try to ride my motorcycle.
What do you like about riding a motorcycle?
I call it wind therapy.
Ah, okay. Tell me more.
So there is nothing better than just riding and having that rush of wind hit you. And like I ride with earbuds in so I can listen to music.
Okay, but what about hearing horns or cars, or do you worry about like some of these crazy drivers out there who don't look out for motorcycles?
I absolutely do worry about the crazy drivers, but I can still hear my pipes
Ah,
over my earbuds.
okay. Okay.
So I can still hear everybody around me and horns and everything like
Mhm.
that.
So you like to just get out on like an open road and have the wind and
Yeah, so I ride a V-Rod, so that's actually um Harley's racing bike. So yes, I do like to go fast and in a straight line. It doesn't like to turn so much,
yeah.
but yeah, if I can go fast for a little bit, it's very nice.
So have you ever taken a road trip, like a long distance, overnight kind of motorcycle trip with friends?
No, the thing with having 2 13-year-olds at home,
Yeah.
if I don't have somebody to stay at home and watch them, I do not go anywhere. They will burn my house
Yeah.
down.
That would be like watching Home Alone, only you would be living that
Yes.
movie, right?
Yeah, I would be living it.
Tell me about someone in your life that has inspired you.
It would have to be my mom because no matter what, she has always gotten up and made it happen. I mean, it doesn't matter if like we didn't have a car and we had to walk somewhere or,
Mhm.
you know, she's actually gotten hurt. Like she broke her hip a couple summers ago
Really? How
and
did how did she do that?
she got tangled up in the dog's lead
Oh.
and she stood up and went down really quick.
Mm.
And even then, she didn't let it get to her. I mean, she was laid up in the hospital for a little bit and then obviously laid up at home with a hip replacement.
Oh, she had to get it replaced.
Yeah, she broke it and she had to actually get a hip replacement.
Wow.
Yeah. So even with that, she was still, trying to get up and get moving and working it out and, still trying to help take care of everybody. Like she just always goes. Definitely my inspiration.
So that positive attitude through difficult times and keeping the family, keeping spirits up for the family no matter what.
Yeah, she is the glue. that
the
holds
glue.
everybody together.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, Jessica, at this point, time to turn the table. I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask me any question that you might want to ask me.
This may sound cliche. So, if there was one thing that you could go back and change, I mean, would you always want to stay like a CEO, or is there a different path that you would want to do?
Uh, I think I would want to be a professional podcast host.
I
No,
mean,
I
this is pretty
just
cool.
yeah, no, I laugh because, I've had so much fun doing this, like doing this podcast series and getting to know employees, and I love asking questions. That's been a characteristic of mine since I was a little girl, is just being curious. I'm always curious about everything, and I like to ask questions and that was my Apple Watch, but I did mute it, so why is it speaking right now? But anyway,
I've
if
had my
maybe
phone
we'll
do the same
and
thing to
maybe we'll
me.
cut that out. I hope we can cut that out, but anyway, I this is what I like. I enjoy meeting people, and having conversations, asking questions, learning. I'm a curious person. Um, so would I go back and choose a different career? I kind of the same answer you gave. I like my life right now. I like where things are at, and you sort of feel like if you went through a different door, then I wouldn't be sitting here right now, and it'd be and I would miss out on this life. So I don't think I have any regrets that way. I mean, sure, there's been tough things that I've gone through just like anybody else, but those are the things that shape and define you into the person that you are. And I think if you never go through adversity or hard times, you don't really fully develop into the person you're meant to be.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, Jessica Duncan, you inspire me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you for having me.